It is my pleasure to introduce you to a puppet, La Befana, and to Kate West, who is the originator of this book by which this puppet came. So welcome very much for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
So Kate, you're a Connecticut gal that went to school here, went out to the West Coast, and decided to write a book. Tell me about this book.
Well, La Befana and the Star is a book based on our lovely La Befana, who you see right here.
You can say hello, La Befana.
Hello, hello everybody.
That's good.
And La Befana is actually someone very special to me because I grew up with her. I grew up in an Italian-American family, and each year at Christmas time, we celebrated Santa like all the other families did, and then we had another tradition that we celebrated. We celebrated La Befana. And so it's always been my dream to share her with children all over the world. And so I wrote this book.
So this book comes with a recipe.
Yes.
And it comes with cookie cutters.
Yes.
And what you're trying to do with La Befana is to develop a show around a grandmother, food, community, tradition. You're shaking your head, is that okay?
Yes, that's exactly right. You are a very smart girl.
And how is Kate doing with this?
She's doing very good, you know. She works so hard at making the book, making the cookie cutters, and making the show. She's a good girl.
Thank you, La Befana. I appreciate that.
Does she have some attitude sometimes?
You know, you have to put her in her place sometimes, but for the most part, we get along great.
So tell me what you're trying to do with this. You're trying to get this show on television. Tell me how you're trying to do that.
Well, the book has brought so much joy to the families that we shared it with that we just kind of couldn't stop there. We needed to share it with as many as possible. So we've developed it into a show that takes place in La Befana's Magic Kitchen. In La Befana's Magic Kitchen, love is a magic ingredient that makes all things possible. Is that right?
That's correct. Love makes everything taste good, you know?
Well, food is love, La Befana.
Food is love.
That's right. Absolutely.
And it is based on the same premise that is in the book, which is, well, should I tell you a little bit about the legend? So La Befana in the Star tells the classic legend of La Befana in Italy, and it has a culinary twist, which is La Befana's cookies. In the book, La Befana bakes these cookies for the children of Italy, but she makes a surprising discovery. Because she puts so much love into her cookies, everyone who takes a bite begins to glow with that same love from within. So it's with that same spirit that we're bringing to the show. We're going to be hosting guests from other cultures who will come on the show and teach something special from their tradition or from their culture. And
you're going to include chefs and public people. We have some photos that you sent us.
Sure.
And Jacques Pepin from Connecticut,
that's right,
who's seen right there, is kind of trying to help you launch this.
Yeah, he was our first guest on our a little mini episode sizzle that we shot back in June.
And God bless him, because I think that's wonderful. Let's go through some of the pictures now that you sent us. Here's some back scenes La Befana that we're seeing there. What else are we seeing? There's the book. You're not the only puppet in this. Who are these other folks here?
La Befana has a neighbor who's quite smitten with her. His name is Pasquale.
Yes, he's always following me around.
And he owns the market next door. So he's where La Befana will go and pick fresh vegetables to, make for that day's recipe.
My own personal green grocer.
I love that. How green of you.
Yeah.
We should also say that the gal in the picture that we just saw is your co-creator, co-producer, and that's Ashley Nolan.
Right, that's Ashley Nolan. She's a fabulous addition to our team, and everyone involved is right here in Connecticut. And Ashley's produced Martha Stewart's show, and Bethany and Anderson Cooper, and we're thrilled to have her as well.
So how does a kid from Connecticut decide to first write a book, then launch a puppet show? First you said you set out to write a screenplay.
Yeah, I was actually baking these cookies about 6 years ago, and I had this flashes of memories of baking them with my grandmother when I was small, and all of these warm memories of just this time I spent with her at this time of year. And in that moment, I saw children all over the world celebrating this. And I saw the story at that time. I saw the full story at that moment, and I decided to write it as a screenplay first. And I took it out to LA and I shopped it around there, and I got really wonderful responses, but I learned that as a first-time writer, I would basically sell my idea off to a company that would then create a franchise out of it, but I would sort of be cut out of the deal. And I wanted to maintain the integrity of this character, plus my involvement, because we kind of have a little bond going on here.
I love this puppet. I think it's terrific. So, so then the book comes, so you self-publish this gorgeous book.
Yeah, so the book was kind of, bringing it back to Connecticut was an attempt to go a more grassroots approach. And the book was the first product in a line of a whole bunch of products that we see coming out in 2015 and beyond.
Who illustrated this book? I love this
dad
story.
illustrated that book. Yeah, my dad, who is an art teacher around Connecticut and a plein air painter, he did 52 beautiful watercolor illustrations in La Befana and the Star, and he's currently working on the second book.
What are the books to follow?
So La Befana and the Star is the first book, and then La Befana Becomes a Star tells the story of when La Befana comes to America. So we have a little bit of art imitating life, or life imitating art there. And then the third book will be La Befana Bakes with Stars, and that will be recipes from La Befana's friends.
Yes, we made a great soup with Jacques Pepin.
We did.
Yes? What
Yeah,
kind?
A potage that was delicious.
See, you know that? And arguably, this state is a third Italian. So people get what you're talking about.
Yeah.
How, did you develop this puppet? Because we have a school of puppetry at UConn.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
did you design the puppet?
My father and I drew.
Sorry to call you a puppet, by the way.
Oh, what is the puppet? I'm looking around. I don't see nothing.
Where's the puppet? we gave a drawing to a puppeteer or a puppet builder who then brought her to 3D life, and the rest is history.
So you have a Kickstarter program that you're doing.
We do,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
We have our book available on our our Indiegogo site, actually,
Okay.
and people can find that by going to golabefana.com, and we have a whole bunch of packages that we put together where people can pledge and become a part of this story, become a part of the magic, and that will help us print more books. It'll help us create our pilot, which we're pitching to networks and studios, and you know, it'll help us get the funding we need to make this dream come true.
So the more folks you talk to, I would think that they're very gravitated to this as something, as you say, based in cultures and
Yeah.
tradition and homespun, if you will.
Yeah.
And food. And I
Yeah.
would think this would be great for network television on Saturday morning.
We think so too.
Yes,
right?
we would love that.
How many characters do you have now, and will you add to them?
Yeah, we have Pasquale, who's the La Befana's love interest. Well, he's in love with her, but I don't know
Good
if
for
she
you
feels
at
the same
your
way.
age, right?
And then we have Martino, who's La Befana's pet canary, and he's more than a songbird. He thinks he's actually Luciano Pavarotti, so he breaks out into, you know, full-on opera. And then we're developing a few more Italian puppets, but then we want to also expand to puppets from other cultures too. Maybe a bubby, maybe somebody who can share, you know, I don't know, all kinds. We have all kinds of ideas.
When you thought about what was going to happen with this, and you're on this journey to see where this ends, is this what you thought it was going to be?
Well, honestly, I thought it would take off in LA, or I thought it would take off in New York, and I'm thrilled that it's actually forming right here in my backyard, because it just feels so organic. It feels so back to my roots, my family. I'm from here, and since that's the essence of it, is family and home and being together, it feels really appropriate.
Well, La Befana, I'm going to let you have one of the last things to say here. So in parting, what would you tell the folks about you?
I would say that if you are going to cook a good food, you have to cook it with a little bit of love every single time, and it will always be delicious.
You're quite a good spokesperson.
I know, I don't have to do anything, I just have to sit here.
Kate West, I wish you all the luck.
Thank you so much.
I hope it ends up on network television.
Thank you so
thank
much.
And
you.
children from around the world watch you and you.
Thanks so much, I appreciate it. Would you like a cookie?
I sure would.
They're
Yeah.
really good. You're going to
you.
eat more than one.
Befana, you want one?
Made a trivial pursuit, spend one this in. Who is this girl? Spend all night kissing, and if was right here, then who else is missing? Got a little sidetracked to find myself wishing to find the keys to the door, but it's also a metaphor. Need to keep locked in the grocery store of my mind, just to save time. Skip right ahead to the last ride. The harder we look, the less we can see. Don't you know, that you need me.